In what ways does your media product use, develop and challenge forms and conventions of real media products? My front cover uses the convention of a masthead, which is positioned in the top left-hand corner of the page. However, this convention is developed as music magazine mastheads, such as NME, Kerrang and Q, are usually in a white or red sans serif font. However, my masthead is in a yellow font, but does however follow the convention of using sans serif typography. My front cover also develops the convention of a barcode, dateline and price. As on a typical music magazine, the barcode would be positioned in the bottom corner of the front cover, with the dateline and price usually positioned above or near it. Whereas I have positioned my barcode on the right hand side of my front cover, rotated 90 degrees. I have also developed the convention of positioning the dateline and price above the barcode, as I have positioned the dateline, price and magazine website underneath the masthead. This is to allow regular buyers and fans of the magazine to identify with the issue number to ensure they haven't missed an issue. I have also challenged the conventions of cover lines. I have used the convention of a main cover line, but as I wanted my magazine to be dominated by a particular artist, I haven't included additional cover lines about other artists, so that the whole focus is on my artist, Jake Warner. I have used the convention of having a main cover line, as I wanted my magazine to be dominated by one artist, so the main cover line focuses on this artist and anchors the main image, as it is central in the page and underneath the artist's face. A close-up of the main artist directly addressing the audience, anchored by the main cover line, is a convention used by many music magazines to allow the audience to identify with the artist in the main image and entice them into buying the magazine. My main image follows conventions that use a direct address, which will entice the audience further into reading my magazine, as they will feel that the artist is directly addressing them and will therefore identify with the artist. As this is a male artist, it also follows conventions, as the direct address suggests that the artist is strong and dominant, which is a common stereotype of males. Direct address is a common convention used by magazines such as Notion and Q to entice the audience to read their magazines. However, some magazines such as Notion and occasionally NME choose to not use direct address in the main image, as it creates an enigmatic feel to the artist in the main image. My main image also follows conventions, as it is positioned central in the page to emphasize the artist's dominance in the magazine. I have used a two-tone image, which creates an enigma, as the audience wonder why half of the artist's face is dark. Do they have a dark side? This convention is used by indie magazines such as Notion to represent the genre of the magazine as indie pop and entice the audience into buying the magazine to find out more about the artist. I have also used the convention of a banner across the bottom of my front cover. This gives the audience an insight into what other artists will feature in my magazine without taking the emphasis off the main artist on the cover. Many music magazines use the convention of a banner to increase the audience interest in the magazine, as they act as a teaser for the audience who want to find out more about the other artists featured in the magazine. My front cover represents my house style, which is consistent throughout my magazine. I created a minimalistic magazine so that the emphasis is on the artist in the main image. My house colour scheme is also consistent throughout my magazine. It consists of white, black, red and yellow. On my front cover, my house colour scheme is shown through the layout. The banners in between the artists on my banner are red, the masthead is yellow, the main cover line is white and the background is black. I have used the convention of subheadings on my contents page, e.g. features, as this will allow the audience to identify with different sections of the magazine. For example, the regulars column will appeal to people who buy each issue and will keep them up to date with what's been happening in the magazine. This is a common convention used by magazines such as Q and NME. I have also used the convention of having story titles and sentences of additional information in a column format. Many magazines use this layout, as it allows the audience to easily navigate themselves through the magazine, as the storylines are anchored by the page number. NME developed this convention as they mainly use images with a sentence of additional information and the page number underneath, but have a plus column which includes more stories in a column format. My contents page fits in with the minimalistic style of the magazine, as the column creates a clear, simple layout and the page numbers are in yellow font, which fits in with my house style and colour scheme. I have used size 12 font for my storylines and size 8 for my sentences of additional information, as I wanted my contents page to be word heavy to connote to my audience that the articles inside will be in-depth and interesting to read. Notion also uses a similar layout on their magazine, which fits in with their minimalistic style that I was replicating. I have also used the convention of a footer, which is consistent throughout my magazine. The footer says systemmag.co.uk in a red serif font. This is also used on a double page spread and on the front cover of my magazine. However, on the front cover it is in a white sans serif font to fit in with the house style layout of the front cover. This connotes to my audience there is an online website which will give them additional storylines and articles to read. This is reinforced by my storyline Subscribe Today, which informs the audience that they can subscribe to the magazine to receive additional information on each issue. A common convention used in magazines, however, I have made my subscription small and discreet by including it in the storylines on my contents page. Magazines such as NME make their subscriptions bold and one of the main aspects of their contents page. For example, NME have their subscription usually in a big square red box which catches the reader's eye as they look through the contents page. I have also used 3 artist images across the bottom of my contents page. The first image is of the artist on the front cover in the main image, which reinforces his dominance throughout the issue. The other 2 images are of artists that will be featured in the issue, anchored by their page number in a yellow font, which fits in with the house colour scheme and will allow the audience to easily navigate themselves through the magazine to these articles. The 2 images of the female artist challenge conventions, as neither of the artists are presented in a particularly sexualised or voyeuristic way, which suggests they are dominant and independent due to their directed dress and relaxed body language. Therefore, my female audience will identify with these artists and aspire to be like them, strong, independent women. I have used the same font on my heading contents as I used on my masthead to keep a consistent style and typography through my magazine. I also include the issue number on the contents page, which reinforces what issue the magazine is, which will allow my audience, especially strong fans who buy each issue, to know if they have missed an issue or not, and also keeps the convention of the issue number constant throughout my magazine. I use the yellow banner behind the black typography of contents and issue 27, which keeps my house colour scheme consistent. It is a common convention used in magazines to have the heading contents on the contents page, as it allows the audience to easily navigate themselves through the magazine. It is also common for magazines to use the issue number on their contents page. However, not all magazines use an issue number. They use a dateline instead. For example, a dateline is featured on NME's contents page rather than the issue number, whereas Q use both the issue number and the dateline on their contents page. I also used a black banner underneath the heading and across the bottom of the page. This is a consistent convention used throughout my magazine, which reinforces a minimalistic style and creates a separation of sections for a simple layout. I challenged the use of an editor's letter as I wanted the focus to be on the artist. However, Notion magazine often use an editor's letter as they like to have a strong focus on the photographers, editors and producers of the magazine to give them recognition. I use a convention of a headline on my double-page spread. The typography of the headline is the same as that of the contents page and the masthead, which keeps a consistent theme and house style throughout my magazine, as it is also in black writing. I have anchored a yellow circle around the word "the" to reinforce the house colour scheme and makes the headline eye-catching. The headline is also used on the front cover, which reinforces the dominance of the artist throughout the issue. A headline is a common convention used throughout music magazines, as it also allows the audience to identify with the article and the artist involved, as it usually includes the artist's name. However, mine doesn't. It is the title of my artist's new album, which therefore develops the convention. I have used a drop cap to catch the audience's eye and allow the audience to identify with the beginning of the article. This is a common convention used in music magazines, as it draws readers into reading the article. By using the letter I for my drop cap, it suggests that the article is written in first person or from the artist's point of view, which will entice readers further, and they will want to know the artist's side of the story or viewpoint in order to identify with them further. I have kept my house style and colour scheme consistent by using a footer which again says systemmag.co.uk in a red font, which reinforces the magazine's website address to entice readers into subscribing, and uses a red banner like the one used on the front cover to separate the website address from the page number. The page number allows the readers to easily navigate themselves through the magazine, and the banner reinforces the house style and colour scheme as it is in red. Page numbers are a common convention used throughout magazines, as they allow the audience to easily navigate themselves through the magazines to the pages they are most interested in. I have used alley spacing of about 2 cm, which is a common amount to have, as I want to entice audience into reading the article by it looking like it includes in-depth information in a simple and neat layout. I used a baseline so that all my columns finish at the same length. However, I challenged conventions by having my columns not all starting at the same height. Notion also used this convention as it attracts the reader's attention, as it catches their eye, as it is an unusual layout. I developed the use of a stand first, as instead of having my lead paragraph as an introductory paragraph to the article, like many magazines such as Kerrang and Q, I presented my stand first in a bullet point format by including questions such as who, what and why, to give the readers a short insight into the artist the article is about and why the article will be interesting to read. I also separated the stand first from the article using a black banner, which goes straight across halfway down the page. This reinforces my house style and keeps it consistent. I also developed the use of a pull quote, as I included it in my second column of body text, but had it anchored by yellow brackets, which fits in with my house colour scheme and make the pull quote stand out more on the page, which will therefore catch the reader's eye and entice them into reading the article, as they will wonder what the quote is about. Many magazines use pull quotes, as it is a useful convention to entice the audience into reading the article. I developed the use of a caption, as in the right-hand corner of my image I use a caption called Field Notes, which gives the readers 3 short facts about the artist they are reading about, which will allow the audience to identify with the artist and feel like the artist is speaking directly to them in the article. Many magazines use the caption to reinforce the artist in the image, or use a pull quote to entice the readers further into reading the article. I challenged the use of a jumper, as I made sure my article fitted in the 3 columns on the left-hand page and didn't exceed this length. Therefore, there was no need to include a jumper, as the article didn't go on to the next page. I also challenged the use of bylines, as I wanted the magazine, and especially this double-page spread, to be focused strongly on and dominated by the artist in the main image and the artist the article is about. Bylines are a common convention notion used to give the photographer, editor and producer recognition for their work. I followed the convention of having my body text in black serif typography at size 12, as I wanted the article to look like it includes in-depth information about the artist to entice the readers into reading it. My main image represents my genre of indie pop through the use of mise-en-scène of the guitar my artist is playing, which suggests to my audience that the artist plays or writes their own music. The casual mise-en-scène of the artist's outfit also reinforces the genre and the target audience of young adults aged between 16 to 20, as it's a stereotypical outfit for young males of that age range.